What's up, everyone? Back again with part 2. Told you I wouldn't have you wait too long. I'm trying to make sure that I post content consistently again. I'm hoping to be back for good, so I've got a lot of goals planned, a lot of different things I'm hoping to get into. I've got a lot of live streams planned I'm really hoping to get into soon, and some different content. I'm hoping to actually start doing themed months. Mainly for myself, if anyone else wants to participate, but I really want to focus on watching a lot of movies that I have not gotten around to seeing. I've been going through my collection, adding it to Letterboxd. A lot of people want to know how many movies I own, how many different titles I actually own, and then something I'm curious about is how many of the movies that I own, how many I've seen. So that is something I'm going through, but let's get into part 2 today of the Steelbooks. It is going to be all of the rest of my studio releases, and then part 3 will be all like specialty, boutique labels, things like that. So let's get right into it. Starting off from where we left off last time, we've got Piranha with this awesome embossing right here on the edges. I love this Steelbook. It is a Zavi exclusive, I believe is where I bought it from. Everything is kind of embossed on there. It's awesome, great Steelbook. Really enjoy the movie as well. It's a lot of fun. Alexander Aja is a great director in my opinion. He's made some great horror movies, so check out some of his stuff. I would recommend. This is Piranha 3DD, double D as it says right there. A lot of double D tits in this movie, which is a big reason why they called it Piranha 3DD. This is not a very good movie, but it's got entertaining elements to it, and there are some good scenes. I like Katrina Bowden as an actress. I'm not saying she's the best, but I do like her. And Danielle Panabaker is also in that, and a few other people, David Hasselhoff as well. So this is another franchise that I have not gotten around to. I think I've seen bits and pieces of some of the movies, but I actually have not seen any of these Pirates of the Caribbean, Caribbean or Caribbean, depends on who you ask, movies. So I'll have to possibly check those out at some point. Another thing that's probably going to offend some people, I'm not a Johnny Depp fan. And no, I'm not an Amber Heard fan. I didn't give a crap about that whole trial, and everybody was so obsessed about it. I think they're both clowns, to be honest with you. I think they both had their issues, but that's probably going to offend some people that are Johnny Depp lovers. It is what it is. He just never did anything for me. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. He's a good actor, but I just don't care for him. As like the stuff he's in, the character he plays, not my cup of tea, not my style. Next up, we've got Pitch Black. That Steelbook right there. You know, I never even seen the full thing. I think I got through half of this, and it was such a dark movie I couldn't see anything. But I have the 4K from Arrow Video, so I'll have to check this out in its entirety at some point, and then watch the sequels and everything after that. Now, I hope when I say something, I hope I don't offend anybody. That goes without saying. It should go without saying, but people get so offended so easily when you don't like something that they love, or an actor they love, or you love somebody they hate. Please understand, this is just my opinion, okay? It's just me showing off my Steelbook collection and giving an opinion on the movie. I'm not here to offend anybody. I respect your opinion. Next up, we have got Pitch Perfect 3 Steelbook. I don't even know if the first two have Steelbooks. I think as far as this franchise goes, this is the worst of the three. I think Pitch Perfect is an awesome movie. I actually really like the first one. I'm a big Anna Kendrick fan. Brittany Snow, I loved Brittany Snow when I was younger, like the Prom Night remake and like that era of her. And I've really enjoyed her stuff as she's gotten older. She was in the movie X, of course. And then you've got, what is her name? She's kind of everybody's favorite now. She's kind of up and coming. And then you got, she goes by Fat Amy in the movie. I can't remember. All these names are drawing a blank at the moment. But yes, I like Pitch Perfect. Pitch Perfect 2's pretty good. And Pitch Perfect 3, I didn't think it was very good. I thought it was not a very good movie. Next up, we got Pixels. I did watch this finally like 5, 6, 7 years ago in its entirety because I had seen parts. It's not good, but it's entertaining. It's slightly entertaining. Even that's pushing it. Next up, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, this Blu-ray Steelbook. I don't know, I thought they put out the 4K Steelbook in the same exact format, but this is the Blu-ray Steelbook here. I do have the 4K of it. I thought the 4K transfer looked good, but I love this movie. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is great. It grew on me even more upon my second time watching it. I watched on Thanksgiving, this past Thanksgiving. I really liked it. It's not, maybe some of the scenes aren't quite as funny as some people may feel. But that scene at the car rental place is still so funny. And it's crazy that I guess that scene in particular is the reason the movie got an R rating. But it really makes the movie. It's so funny. John Candy's great. He's a classic. I love John Candy. The Power Rangers movie from like, what was this? Like 2013, 2012, 2014. Who knows? I was a big fan of this Power Rangers movie. I'm curious to hear a lot of people who grew up with Power Rangers. I didn't watch a lot of kids' movies when I was a kid. I grew up with, like, at 7 years old, I was watching Halloween and slashers, and my dad had me watching, like, American Pie and Porky's probably when I was, like, I don't know, 11, 12. So I stopped watching Power Rangers probably when I was, like, 4 or 5. I stopped watching all kids' stuff at that age. I was watching sports and adult movies, basically, like, you know, rated R movies. Power Rangers, though, this movie, I really liked it. I was a big fan of it. I thought it was good. I liked it. I'm curious to hear if there was any Power Rangers fans that grew up with the Power Rangers. I hear they're going to possibly remake it, but I don't know. I liked that one. I have the 4K. I have a couple different editions of that movie. Next up, we have got Predator, or yeah, The Predator. Everybody kind of hated this one. I believe this was directed by Shane Black. Everybody hated this movie, it seemed like. I actually liked The Predator. I actually liked that one quite a bit. I was really entertained. I thought it was pretty violent. I was a fan. And then you got this Walmart exclusive, it was at the time at least, 3-movie collection of Predator. I'm not sure which ones are in here. Maybe Predator, Predators, and The Predator. Yeah, so you got Predator, Predators, and The Predator. I'm assuming those are the 3, but I could be wrong. Obviously, I love the original one with Arnold. I've never seen Predator 2, though, with Danny Glover, I believe. Never seen that one. We got Pretty in Pink. I like this. I just don't think it's nearly as good as a couple other, you know, 80s, like, rom-com type of movies, high school rom-com movies. I think there's a lot better ones out there than Pretty in Pink. But I'm not the biggest Molly Ringwald fan. She doesn't do it for me. I don't like I said earlier, not a big Breakfast Club fan. But yeah, she's not my favorite 80s star. Let me just put it that way. We've got Psycho up next, classic. The first time and only time I've actually seen this was in film class. So I really need to rewatch Psycho. That is an awesome, this is one of the best steelbooks out there. The blood dripping and the shower and just, oh my gosh, the drain. The way this is embossed, it's, and then you got this. I love when they used to do this. Zavi used to do it like this, and I love the border around there. That embossing on the border. Love it. I sometimes get the embossing, debossing wrong. All right, we got Psycho Steelbook here, and then another Psycho Steelbook. One's 4K, one's Blu-ray. I had to go and, what did I do? I think I got one on eBay or something like that. But yeah, I had the Blu-ray for a very long time, but I wanted the 4K Steelbooks. OCD, completist, problems, all that stuff. But I got it for a good price. That's why I didn't get it for so long. Pulp Fiction, I guess this is still sealed. I haven't even opened this yet since I bought it. Back in, like, what, December or January. I really like Pulp Fiction. I think it's one of Quentin Tarantino's best. I think he's put out a lot of great films, though. But definitely one of the best. Another Pulp Fiction Steelbook right there. There's the back of it. Here is The Purge, the first one. I really like The Purge. I think it gets better upon every rewatch. I don't think it's the best one, but I love the idea of it. I remember seeing the trailer, and I was so excited to see it. But I think it's good. I don't think it's great, though. We've got This is this one called The Purge Anarchy, right? This is my favorite one out of the 5 at this point now. I love this one. And it's got Zach Gilford in it. Anybody who's seen Friday Night Lights TV show knows he plays Matt Saracen, the quarterback, number 7 in it. So that was really cool to see him back on screen. Yeah, I love Purge 2 Anarchy. Huge fan of that one. Next up, we've got Purge Election Year, I believe this one's called. I also think this is the second best, probably. I do like this one quite a bit. I really like these Steelbooks as well. The first Purge, it's probably like my 4th, or it actually might be my 5th favorite now at this point in the franchise. I don't think they really did a good job with this one. I think there's some, like, the action scenes are really good. I think the ending's awesome. But I'm just not a fan of, like, this one in particular. I don't think the characters are very good. But it's not bad. I think all the Purges actually have there's a lot of fun to be had with all of them, even the Forever Purge. I'm really disappointed they didn't do a Steelbook for that one. But I do have that on 4K, and I actually really like the Forever Purge as well. I have a lot of fun with all of them. All right. So also got some other Zavvi exclusive Steelbooks. This was back before the 4Ks came out at Best Buy. When Zavvi Steelbooks were really nice, they put a lot of thought into them, and they were really cheap. Zavvi does good Steelbooks now, but I think they got in a little bit lazy and way more expensive. These were like 10, 15 bucks back in the day. But this is the Purge. That's the back of it. Here's the Purge Anarchy. Here's the back of it. So really cool artwork. Here is the Purge Election Year. And then there you go. That's like right in your face. It's just super cool artwork. All right, we've got next up A Quiet Place Steelbook and A Quiet Place 4K. One's Blu-ray, one's 4K. So a little story about A Quiet Place. Something I think this was kind of, I think, an example of when Best Buy started to take a turn for the worse. Or Paramount. I should say when Paramount got very greedy. So this came out in Steelbook format. Awesome Steelbook, right? I was a Steelbook collector. I wasn't a big into double dipping at the time. If I had the Steelbook, I wouldn't buy 2 copies. Well, I bought the Steelbook of A Quiet Place. Loved the Steelbook. Loved the embossing right here. I always say embossing, debossing, whatever. But anyways, loved it. Absolutely loved it. But I wanted to check it out in 4K. They didn't have the 4K Steelbook, but they had a 4K slipcover. So I bought the 4K, bought the Steelbook, both on day one. About 6 months, 8 months later, maybe less, maybe a year later, they released the 4K Steelbook of this. And it really bothers me to this day now because I'm like, why did they put this out on Steelbook format? And they had a 4K of it, but they didn't put the 4K Steelbook out. So all they had to do was throw a 4K disc in there, but they didn't, you know. And then, of course, 6, 8 months later, they put out the same exact Steelbook artwork with that 4K disc finally in there. And it's not a new disc or anything. So that's, I think, like, that is the things that studios do that really piss people off when they do stuff like that. That really bothers people. A Quiet Place Part 2. I actually think this is a brilliant sequel. The Steelbook, not necessarily so much. I think there could have been a lot more work put in. I don't think Best Buy has been doing the greatest Steelbooks in the last couple of years. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I went over the earlier ones earlier. As you know, if you watch Part 1, I have not seen any of the Indiana Jones. I will be doing a binge when the new one comes out. I'll watch all 5. The Raid Redemption, or I think it's also called The Raid. I think this is quite possibly the greatest action film as far as like martial arts go, kung fu or like karate type of films, or like foreign movies. I think this has to be up there on the top of the list for one of the best ever. This movie, and this was actually an opportunity. It's got a dent, unfortunately, like right there. Almost looks like a bullet hole. But when I first watched The Raid Redemption, it was very early on into my introduction into subtitles. And it just was on. There's not a lot of subtitles because there's not a lot of dialogue in the movie. It's mostly fighting throughout the whole movie. But when I went to go rewatch it eventually, I realized it was dubbed. And I was like, what am I watching? I didn't know what dubs were. I didn't really know much about subtitles at the time. And it was awful. It was terrible watching that. I would 100% of the time, I don't care if I like subtitles or don't, I will always, always, always choose subtitles, regardless of if I'm in the mood or not, because I cannot stand when they dub the language, because it sounds awful, and it ruins the movie. It's just so bad. You're essentially watching a movie that those actors, it's not even their voices. It's really bad, in my personal opinion. Rambo 3. That's Zavi Steelbook there. There's the back of it. And I got the first one, First Blood, but I don't have the second one of that. Those Zavi Steelbooks. Rambo. This is Last Blood right there. So I really like the whole Rambo franchise. First Blood is my favorite. I think Rambo 4, just titled Rambo, is excellent. I really think that's some of the best action you'll see in a movie. I think it's a total guys movie. And then Rambo Last Blood, it's hopefully the end. I think it was a good conclusion. It's not the greatest, but it definitely has some great action at the end, and it's awesome. Rampage, there's just mindless fun here. I really think the Steelbook's pretty cool on this one. It's got some inside artwork in there as well. But I think Rampage is a ton of fun. It's entertaining, mindless fun. Really like a lot of Dwayne Johnson movies. Rock is great in my opinion. We got Ready Player One. This was something I had held off on watching for so long, and then I made like a watch list of a bunch of movies I wanted to see, and Ready Player One was on there. I got around to watching it, and I thought it was awesome. Excellent. The throwbacks, the just Chucky's in there, just so much fun stuff. We got Rear Window up next. The gorgeous Grace Kelly, just absolutely stunning, beautiful. Alfred Hitchcock, of course. I think it's a great movie. And then Disturbia, which isn't technically a remake of it, but it's definitely like a remake. And I think it's a great, like, modern time follow-up to Rear Window, or remake, so to speak. But Rear Window is great. We got Hunt for Red October. I think this is an incredibly boring movie. I did not like that. I think that's the 4K Steelbook of it. We got Resident Evil up next. I'm missing some of these. I think I have some mixture of them. I think Resident Evil's pretty cool. I like the movie quite a bit. I really like it when the lasers come out. That's pretty cool. Resident Evil Afterlife. I don't even know which one that is. You know what? Actually, I think this is the second one. I thought that one was called Apocalypse. But anyways, I thought it was Apocalypse. But Resident Evil Afterlife. I think, no, this is... Apocalypse is the second one, I believe. This is not the second one. I'm missing the second one. So that's Resident Evil Afterlife. Here's Resident Evil Afterlife as well. Yeah, this is definitely not the one I'm thinking of. I like this one too. I like them all, but I think Apocalypse is the best one, which is the second one. I believe it's called Apocalypse. It's the second one. And it's the one where she has to fight, like, her boyfriend from the first one, I think. And yeah, it's a badass scene at the end there. He's like a badass villain. We've got Resident Evil Retribution. I'm pretty sure there's one I haven't seen, and it might be this one. I can't remember the one I haven't seen. It might be Retribution, I believe. Here's another one, Resident Evil Retribution. Yeah, there's only one I haven't seen, I believe. I might have actually seen them all. I can't remember. That's another franchise I have to binge watch. But I actually didn't mind Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Everybody hated this movie, it seemed like. It's got some good fun and some good zombie violence, but it's not great. But I didn't mind it. So that's my opinion on Resident Evil franchise. All right, continuing on, we've got The Revenant, which I actually still have not seen this. But I'm pretty sure Tom Hardy is in that won Leonardo DiCaprio his first Academy Award. We've got Revenge. And then Revenge, 2 of them, because I don't know how I accidentally bought 2. One's from Italy, one's from Spain, Amazon, back when I actually ordered from all different countries on Amazon. But I had really wanted this Steelbook. This was when I was huge into collecting Steelbooks. I still am now, but I went crazy and ordered on Amazon from different countries. I don't really do that anymore. But as far as the Revenge Steelbook goes, I'll show them both off here. I really like this movie. I think it's an incredible revenge flick. I think it's one of the better ones probably out there. It's extremely bloody. If you get past the realisticness, the kind of realism of the movie, once you get past that part and how she kind of comes back to life, so to speak, or survives her fall, it's really good. You just got to get past that. It's a little slow, but it's super good. It's a really good movie. It's really good. And I showed it to my dad, and he ended up loving it as well. Rocket Man, not big into, like I said, not a big musical fan, and I'm not very big into music biopics for the most part, so what does that tell you? But I thought this was okay. If I was big into music biopics or musicals, I probably would have loved Rocket Man. Here's another Rocket Man Steelbook. This is the Walmart, I believe, Blu-ray. That's the 4K that I just showed, this one. Then the Blu-ray right there. We've got Salem's Lot here, and another Salem's Lot. These were back when Best Buy put out a lot of Steelbooks, like they don't do now as much. Salem's Lot I've never seen. It's like a 3-hour movie, right? I haven't seen it. Salt. You know what? I haven't seen this either. I don't think I've seen Salt. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen Salt. Angelina Jolie? No. But I have seen Lucy, and I always kind of get those two mixed up, I guess. San Andreas. I enjoy this movie once again. Dumb, mindless fun. You got Alexandria Daddario's gorgeousness in this movie. You've got The Rock, of course, in this as well. And then, is it Carla Gugino or Gugino or Gugino? I think she's gorgeous too, and I don't feel like she ages. She still looks great. Sausage Party, this is something I don't know that I'd ever watch. A lot of people have told me I wouldn't like it, but the Steelbook was like $10 one day, so I grabbed it. Saving Private Ryan, I think this has to be one of the greatest war films ever made. Some would say it is the greatest war movie ever made. Incredible directing by Steven Spielberg. The Saw Collection, all 8 films, I believe it is, or something like that, up to maybe Jigsaw, I'm not sure. I've seen every single one of these. I actually have seen every one, and I know I have, but if you had to ask me which ones I like the most, the problem is I don't remember all of them very well. I'll have to do a binge on all of them, but, you know, when you start to get into them, they're all about traps, and you get them mixed up, so... but I think the first one's great for its budget and everything like that. I think it's an excellent movie. I like part 2, I remember. Jigsaw I thought was pretty good. Spiral, it was alright, I guess, above average. I don't think Chris Rock was great for that role, though. Alright, next up we've got Scarface Steelbook. Another Scarface Steelbook. Another Scarface Steelbook. Another Scarface Steelbook. So we got 4 Scarface Steelbooks here. And I have got 2 more Scarface Steelbooks that are part of, I'll get to later, you'll see in this video. So 6 Scarface Steelbooks. Somebody once said, geez, how many Scarface Steelbooks do you have? Do you need? Do you really need 6? The answer is yes, of course I do. It's Scarface. It's incredible. It's remarkable. You got Al Pacino, but they're all different artwork. And they look great. So, yes, I do need 6 Scarface Steelbooks. All right, next up, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I've only seen this once. I saw it in theaters, and I thought it was pretty decent, pretty good, pretty entertaining. I think I gave it like a 3.5 stars out of 5. Next up, we have got Schindler's List, which I still have not seen yet, and my buddy Ryan would kill me for saying that. He actually bought this for me for my birthday. And little did he know it was a Zavi exclusive that he bought. It was the Region B one. But it is 4K, so it still plays either way. I do have a 4K player. But I have to watch Schindler's List still. It is his most recommended movie to me ever. Scott Pilgrim's vs. the World. Speaking of recommendations, this was something recommended to me by my buddy Diego. And I didn't really think it was great. I know a lot of people love it. You got the same director. Why am I forgetting his name? Everything draws a blank as far as actors and directors when you get on camera. You forget all that stuff. It's crazy. But Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, it's fun. It's entertaining. It's not really my thing. But I didn't mind it. As far as it being entertaining goes, yes. Mary Elizabeth Winstead's gorgeous in it. Not really my cup of tea, though. Not like my style. I didn't hate it. All right, let's keep it going with Scream. This is, it's a UK Steelbook. It might even be a Zavi exclusive, but This is probably my favorite Steelbook in my collection. I love the font here with Scream. Beautiful inside artwork as well on it. Scream is still to this day my #1 favorite horror film of all time. Hands down, greatest slasher in my opinion. I think it's better than Halloween. I just think it's remarkable, smart, fresh, sexy, hip. You name it, it's great. It's all of the above. Beautiful Steelbook. Then we've got the Best Buy 4K Steelbook of it. Do you like scary movies? It's the most quotable movie probably ever, right? Has to be, Scream. A lot of other great quotable movies out there, but it is incredible. All right, next up we've got the Scream 5, technically it is, but it's titled Scream, so I have it next to that one. But yeah, I actually really love this Steelbook as well, and unfortunately, the Scream Steelbooks have been a nightmare, and I'll explain why. This one was sold out at first. It's actually getting reprinted. I think it comes out like this week or next week or something. But I missed out on it originally, and then I forget. I think it came to Amazon back in stock or something like that for a little bit. This Scream Steelbook, I got it in the mail from Best Buy in this massive oversized box with nothing else in there. That and Jack Reacher came out the same day. And I had a dent on mine. And so I ended up going through, I went online, placed an order for another one. I had to drive all the way to Indiana. I got it, and it came with like a scratch here and a scratch here and a dent somewhere. And then it came back in stock on Amazon one day, and I ordered another one on Amazon, and it came with a massive dent on it. And then I ordered a replacement, and that came even worse condition. So I have ordered like 4 copies. I can't get a good one. There's still this little scratch right there. I don't know if I'll ever keep trying it. At some point, I just give up, kind of. I really love this Steelbook. And then Scream 2 here, which is up there. The reason why I don't even have this, I still need to get a replacement of this. I got it from Best Buy. It is all sorts of janky and just janky, I should say, and damaged, scratched, dented. It's like it's caved in right here. It's terrible. I bought it from Best Buy. Yeah, it's just garbage. And then when I went to bring it back and get another one, they were all out of stock. And the Best Buy lady, the manager, customer service, started rubbing it on the counter, of course, and then just totally even made it worse. And I'm like, I can't even bother. So it's still sitting aside here for me to find another copy, but it's out of stock on Amazon, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to. At some point, I'm going to have to get a better one. But I also want to get a better one of the other Scream. And then here's Scream 4. This is a German release, as you can probably see. I don't know how to... I think new decade, new rules, that says right at the top, right up there. But yeah, it's all in German, the writing. That's why I don't do German media books, but this Steelbook was too awesome to pass up. But I can't read German, so I don't buy German, like, media books. I don't just buy stuff for the artwork all the time. As long as, sometimes I will, but media books, I don't want to dive down that rabbit hole. We've got Sharknado. This is the Zavvi exclusive Steelbook of it. And then we have got this Sharknado Best Buy Steelbook collection. And I didn't know how much this was worth until recently. I think this goes for like $80 to $120 or something like that online. I did not realize it was worth that much money because it was like probably 30 or 40 bucks at Best Buy, maybe even 20. I don't know, but yeah, I bought it at Best Buy. I've seen the first 3, and I have not seen the other ones. But I forgot to speak about Scream, the entire franchise. I love them all 5. Love them. Even Scream 3. I'm waiting on a Scream 3 Steelbook. I'm hoping it happens. But yeah, Sharknado, only seen the first 3. They're all garbage, but Sharknado has some fun with it, and I haven't seen 4, 5, or 6. Shaun of the Dead, I haven't seen all of this in its entirety, but I've seen some clips of it. I've even seen some clips from Scream 4 during this movie, right? Because they're watching it on TV, you get the joke, ha ha ha. Shawshank Redemption, I recently watched this last year, I believe it was, for the first time. I have 5 out of 5, absolutely incredible movie. I loved every second of this movie. I thought it was remarkable. What an ending. The Steelbook could be better, but it's awesome. Zavi exclusive Steelbook that I ended up getting from that same person on Instagram that gave me about 100 or so Steelbooks for sale. The Shining Steelbook, this is another one that goes for a pretty penny, and you never know what you're sitting on sometimes or how much things will go for, but yeah, this Shining Steelbook is pretty costly. It's pricey. I have only seen like the first 45 minutes or hour of Shining, and I was a little kid, and I didn't like it. So I still haven't watched all of The Shining, but I have to see it. But I was so bored because it's really slow, and I was a kid at the time, so really young when I watched it. All right, another Shining Steelbook. It's the Blu-ray one. Best Buy put that out. This Shrek Steelbook, another one that... You'll see a lot of these that I just got from him on Instagram. Shutter Island, that was another one. I've also never seen Shutter Island. Or you know what? I watched half of it and I hated it. I hated it. I hated that and I didn't finish it. Sicario. This is Day of the Soldado. This is the sequel. I haven't watched this one, but I did watch the original and I thought the first one was excellent. But I haven't watched that one yet. The first one's really slow, but it's really good. Extremely good directing and everything like that. Sin City, A Dame to Kill. I don't believe I've seen this one, but I have seen the first one. I could be wrong. Skyscraper. I watched this on my birthday like 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago. It's not the greatest artwork on the back. I thought the front was pretty cool. No font of the movie title. But I actually didn't mind Skyscraper. Neve Campbell's in it. I love Neve Campbell. I adored her as a kid. And I didn't mind it. I like everything that Rock does for the most part. Sleepy Hollow. It's another one I've never seen. Johnny Depp, of course. Christina Ricci as a blonde, I believe. Smokin' Aces. Oh my gosh. Have So I don't think I've seen all of Smokin' Aces. It looks like Ray Liotta, I know. Ryan Reynolds is in it. Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman looks like he's drugged out in it, which is crazy to see him playing that role. But yeah, I don't think I've seen all of Smokin' Aces parts. I might be wrong. Snatch, another one that I haven't seen. I don't believe. It's a Best Buy Steelbook, though, I believe. And then Some Kind of Wonderful. Probably my favorite John Hughes movie. I definitely... I don't know. It's hard to say. I love this, but I got it on Amazon for like 15 bucks. If you want the Steelbook, it's probably still in stock on Amazon for like 15. Excellent, excellent, excellent movie. Very great romantic movie. If you're into that kind of thing, this is a great one. And John Hughes either wrote it, I think he might have directed it as well. But yes, that's Some Kind of Wonderful. All right, continuing on into those S's, kind of later S's here. We've got Sonic the Hedgehog. This is a Best Buy Steelbook. Jim Carrey, whom I could care less for. But I thought Sonic the Hedgehog's pretty cool. I've only seen it once, saw it in theaters. And I do have the sequel, but it's in a different spot because it comes with the slipcover from Paramount. Next up, we've got Southpaw. I love this movie. I'm biased because I love boxing movies, but I think Jake Gyllenhaal, or Gyllenhaal, I guess I hear a lot of people say. Jake Gyllenhaal, you've got Rachel McAdams, but Forrest Whitaker is in this. Southpaw is excellent. Such a good boxing movie. Right up there with Creed and Rocky, in my opinion, and all those other ones. Space Jam, the original, with Michael Jordan. I really like Space Jam. That is the... I believe that one's the Zabi exclusive one. And then they got another one recently that I missed out on. I think they got a Titans Occult one that I have. And then they got this one from Best Buy, which has the same artwork, actually, on the back there. That's kind of lazy. The Best Buy one came out first. I'm like 90% sure. So Zavi got lazy. Space Jam, A New Legacy. I haven't seen this. I really don't like LeBron James as a basketball player. I'm a big basketball fan, but I don't like LeBron. You know, some people say it's kind of who you grew up with, I guess. But I am in the big majority of people or whatever. I believe Michael Jordan is way better player than LeBron James. I think he's pretty soft. But, you know, he can't act either. He's terrible. I'm not saying Michael Jordan can, but I just haven't gotten around to this yet. But I will at some point. Next up, we have got Speed. Speed. What is there to say about this other than it's excellent? Yeah, Sandra Bullock, Keanu Reeves. I love Speed. Such a good movie. A Star is Born. There's like 4 different versions of this, or 3. I think this is excellent. I really like the way this movie plays out. It's not one of my favorites by any means. Another one of those kind of music, not biopics, but I don't think it is. But anyways, I don't love it, but I think it's a really good movie. And I love the ending, and I love kind of the way it plays out. And I think it's realistic, and I love the addiction side of this movie because I'm very big into addiction films. Next up, we've got the Starship Troopers 4K Steelbook. I believe they added something new for this one. I think either HDR or Dolby Vision or Dolby Atmos. Sony added to that, so I'll have to check it out. But I also have the original 4K Steelbook of it, which was right there, Starship Troopers. So I really actually like this one, but I don't think either one really... I guess this one probably makes more sense because that doesn't really... If you've seen the movie, that shot doesn't make sense. It's not in the movie or anything like that. All right, next up. This might be my hottest take so far in part 1 and 2. I talked about how there's a lot of classics that were some of the biggest franchises ever made that I haven't seen, right? And some people might tune out. Some people get pissed off. Listen, everybody has classics and franchises that you should have seen that people haven't seen. Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, Scream, Halloween, Star Wars. For me, Star Wars. I haven't watched any of them, and I don't have an interest in watching them. And if you take offense to that, that's your problem, because it's just my opinion. It's not my thing. I'm not interested in Star Wars. It's not an offense to anybody else. I'm not making fun of somebody who is. It's just not my thing. I was just never into Star Wars. And I got these from the same person on Instagram. And I like collecting Steelbooks, so I have them. I might give them a shot at some point, but there's a lot of other movies like that. Star Trek, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. I've never seen any of those, and I don't have an interest in seeing them. And so a lot of people, I already know it. I could hear the people. Yeah, how can you call yourself a movie fan? You haven't seen any movies, blah, blah, blah. I've heard it all. But you know what? Everybody's got their things they're not interested in, and some people just have stuff they're not interested in seeing. And everybody's got classics that they want to see, just haven't gotten around to seeing yet. So Star Wars, I'm just more open and honest, and I'm not afraid to admit it. And there's a lot of people who kind of hide in the back and don't talk about it, but you won't hear me doing that. What you see is what you get with me, and I'm not going to hide what I want to say. And if you don't like it, that's really your problem. I'm just always going to be honest. You're not going to get somebody who's fake out of me. That's just not who I am. But Star Wars The Force Awakens, next Steelbook, and we're out of the Star Wars. All right, next up, we've got the Steve Austin 4-film collection. You got The Stranger, Hunt to Kill, Maximum Conviction, and Package. I think the only one I've seen, if I have, was, I think, Hunt to Kill. I might have seen The Stranger, I don't know. But the 2 bottom ones I know I haven't seen. I might not have even seen the 2 on the top. I don't know. But this Steelbook's like $10 on Amazon, maybe less. And you get 4 films. And it's all Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Next up, we've got The Sting, 4K Steelbook of that. I believe that's the 4K, yeah. I haven't seen The Sting. I really need to see that. Another classic I haven't seen. Straight Outta Compton, another one that I need to see. Yeah, I need to see this. But I haven't seen it. I think this is definitely the Blu-ray Steelbook of it. You got O'Shea Jackson in it. And, of course, you got, is that Ice Cube, right? Yeah. I got to check this one out. And Paul Giamatti's in this. Got to get around to that one. Stripes. This is a kind of a classic comedy. It's not my favorite, but it's fun. It's good comedy. It's funny. Bill Murray. Next up, we have got Sucker Punch. This is a fun movie. You never get to see her dance, which is really interesting because you're very curious how like she dances, Emily Browning, but it's like, you know, mesmerizing supposedly. But yeah, you got Carla Gugino in this as well, Jamie Chung, Vanessa Hudgens, Jenna Maloney, Abby Cornish. So you got a great cast in this one. Scott Glenn's also in this. Some pretty cool action. But yeah, Sucker Punch was good. Left a tiny bit to be desired, I guess you could say. Next up, we have got Superbad. This is a classic comedy, one of my favorites of all time. It came out when I was in high school, so super relatable to me. I loved Emma Stone's character in this. One of my favorites. She doesn't drink. I thought that was really cool. So did my dad. Because then when I saw that at the time, like, I wasn't a big drinker, but kids were at that age kind of very big into drinking when I saw it. It was probably like 19, 20, 21. So I thought that was really cool. And my dad wasn't a drinker, so he's like, he saw it before I did, my dad, and he's like, you're gonna love her character in this. And I did, and I think this was her first role ever, and I fell in love with Emma Stone in this movie. Not a major character, but she's a good one. But this movie's hilarious. It's so funny. Taxi Driver's up next. Taxi Driver is such a good movie. I love this one. I think it's 1,000 times better than Joker. I hate when people compare this to Joker to this. I maybe could see slight comparisons, but no, not really, to be honest with you. I think it's disrespectful because I don't think Joker's very good. And I think Taxi Driver is incredible. I really hate the comparisons because I just think it's disrespectful because I don't think Joker holds a light or a candle to this movie. But that's me. I don't hate Joker, but I don't think it's all that it's hyped up to be. I think it's one of the most overrated movies and did not deserve all that Oscar run. But we'll get into that later. Alrighty, let's keep going. We got Ted 2. Actually, don't have Ted. I think Ted's better than Ted 2, but I think Ted 2 is fun as well. And you got Amanda Seyfried in this one. I love Amanda Seyfried. I think she's great, but Mila Kunis is in the original, and she's also incredible too. So, but Ted's pretty funny, and that's Ted 2. All right, next up we have got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, another Michael Bay movie. I actually really like these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. I think they're a lot of fun. I don't think they're great, but I definitely think they're entertaining, and I don't think Michael Bay fails to entertain. So there's that one, and you got Megan Fox, whether you like her or not. She's gorgeous. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, what is this? Out of the Shadows, the sequel. So I thought this was pretty fun too. Good times. And you got the guy from Arrow in those movies, and I was a big Arrow fan, the TV show. All right, next up, Tenet, another Christopher Nolan movie. I actually bought this with like 3 other movies. And this, in the damn bag the guy gave me at Disc Replay, like broke, or they fell out of the bag and they slid on the concrete. This and like 3 others. Somehow this one didn't get damaged. Now a few of the other ones got, this one definitely got like slightly damaged, and it sucks because it was an out of print Steelbook, but there was one that got like mangled and slid on the concrete. But yeah, Tenet, I haven't seen it yet. Not the biggest Christopher Nolan fan. All right, next up we've got Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This upside down. This would really piss a lot of people off, the way they do this, like reverse spine font. But Terminator 2, probably one of the greatest action films ever made. Maybe the greatest. It came out the year I was born, 1991 as well. Another Terminator 2 Steelbook. This is a pretty cool one. And there's the back of it. If you know Dave Durant from Durant Cinema, he has like 50,000 Terminator Steelbooks. He loves Arnold. So you check that out. We've got Terminator, what is this one? Genesis with Emilia Clarke. Absolutely stunning. Emilia Clarke's great. Terminator, what is this? Dark Fate. I think this is the one that has Arnold return. I think Dark Fate was the one. It pissed a lot of people off the way they kind of did John's characters in that one. So, yeah. All right, John Connor, right? Yeah, I was getting his name mixed up there for a second. All right, next up, we've got Texas Chainsaw. This just Texas Chainsaw 3D, technically. It's a pretty lazy back there. So a little fun fact about this one. This is that one Steelbook that I got sent, I ordered, but I got sent Manhunter at the time, and then I got to keep Manhunter, and they sent the right one, so I ended up getting that. Got both for the price of one. All right, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is still sealed, and the reason why is because this is the original. All right, so on the back here, This has happened with a few Steelbooks. I don't know what happens if it's a defect in the printer, however they kind of make it, but you could see here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but there's like a line, there's some art that's not part of the Steelbook that goes down. So it just bothered me, and it was only 10 bucks at Best Buy, so I ended up buying another one. Don't really need to do that stuff, but I did anyways. All right, I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm planning on getting the second sight 4K. I'm planning on getting the 4K Steelbook, the other 4K artwork with it. I've got this Texas Chainsaw Massacre Steelbook. I got a digibook of it, the truck with it. I've got so many copies of this movie, but this is a really cool one. I think this is at FYE, was at FYE. Really cool, clean artwork. I just really like this one. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic, absolute classic. I know Tim Talks Talkies is not a fan of it though. Next up, we've got The Thing, a classic. I know some people have like 15, almost like 10 Steelbooks of that one. I only have, I think, the one Steelbook of it, maybe two. I got a Scream Factory version of it. But yeah, The Thing's a classic. And actually, Tim Talks Talkies did a like a top 25 horror movies ranked by the community, and there was like 53 votes or so, and The Thing was #1, actually #1, ahead of everything else, which I won't complain about because The Thing is a classic. So some people say it's John Carpenter's best over Halloween. I would actually say Christine is my favorite. I said that in part 1 of my Steelbook collection. Anyways, moving on, we got The Thin Red Line, which I've never seen all of this, but I have the Criterion release, and I really have to get around to seeing that entire thing. Yeah. Tigerland, another war movie. This one I didn't really care for, but little spoiler alert here. I'll give you like 3 seconds to pause it or mute me if you haven't seen it. It's a minor spoiler, but they never go to war in this one, from what I remember. There's no actual war scenes. It's just them training, kind of, and all that stuff. And it was a little boring for me. Tommy, I guess I was just expecting something else, and I was younger, so I just wanted war, violence. I haven't seen this. It's a very interesting Steelbook. I don't understand it, but I haven't seen the movie. All right, next up we've got Tommy Boy, which is a classic comedy, probably one of his best. Chris Farley, I miss him. We've got Top Gun. Tommy Boy, Chris Farley, not all of his stuff is funny to me though, and not everything he does, even in Tommy Boy, is funny, but I like Tommy Boy the most. I really like his relationship with his dad in that one. And that scene on the stage is a classic. But I think Brian Dennehy or something like that is his name. But Tommy Boy, like Chris Farley, a lot of his stuff doesn't click for me because some of it's just too over the top. Next up, we've got Top Gun. And I believe another Top Gun. So yeah, you got both of these. I had to get them both. They're slightly different. But yeah, Top Gun's a good movie. Great movie. I hadn't watched it until I was older, but finally got around to it a few years ago. And then Top Gun Maverick came out. And Top Gun... Oh, this is not Top Gun Maverick. I'm sorry, this is still Top Gun. This is still the original Top Gun. This is just the 4K Steelbook that Best Buy had re-released. But Top Gun was a classic. It's a good one. And yeah, there's not much more to say about Top Gun. Like I said, Top Gun Maverick. It's just on the other shelf. I had to get into that. So, Top Gun Maverick, my favorite movie of 2022. Love it. Really a perfect film. What an incredible movie. And it got nominated for Best Picture, which was pretty awesome. Surprising to see something like that get nominated for Best Picture. We'll see if it wins. All right, Total Recall, the remake. I mean, you got Kate Beckinsale and Jessica Biel in this movie. So that's a plus. And is it Colin Farrell, right? That's his name. I didn't mind that one. I think that's a universally hated movie. Next up, we've got my #1 favorite film of all time. Yes, that is correct. You heard that right. #1 of all time, The Town. And something I got a bone to pick with The Town and Punisher and other movies. So this is the 4K Steelbook of it. I have a 4K of it. I think the most copies I own of any movie is The Town. I have every edition of it. But what upsets me about, here's the Blu-ray Steelbook of it, of The Town here. What upsets me about The Town is they have the 4K, but I've never watched the 4K because the theatrical cut is only on the 4K. The director's cut, which is about 25 minutes longer and a far superior film, to be honest with you, and don't get me wrong, the theatrical cut when I left the theater was my favorite film of all time. But The Town, like, when I watch it, I want to watch the 4K. But I don't want to watch any other version other than the director's cut. The Punisher, the unrated director's cut of that, which is also the better film in my opinion, if I remember correctly, a lot more blood. It's like 20 minutes longer, 15 minutes longer, is only on DVD, and that's got a 4K release. Warriors is another one. The only way to watch the theatrical cut of that is through imprint, and I don't have the imprint release. So I'm waiting on somebody to put out the Warriors on 4K, and hopefully at least the theatrical cut gets a Blu-ray, because the theatrical cut's actually better than the director's cut on the Warriors. Next up, we got Train to Busan. This is it's just, after rewatching the Scream Factory 4K of Dawn of the Dead, this is definitely either number 1 or number 2 favorite zombie films of all time. You know, as I get older, nostalgia plays a huge factor into Dawn of the Dead 2004 for me, but this might be my number 1 favorite zombie film of all time. This is a remarkable zombie movie. And I'm curious if my buddy Nick has watched it yet, because I watched The Sadness, and I told him to check out Train to Busan, and I know he bought it, but I don't even know if he's watched it yet. Nick, I know you watch my videos. Have you, I know I took a break, but you're still watching, I'm sure. Have you seen Train to Busan yet, man? Next up, we've got Train to Busan Presents Peninsula. So this one kind of pissed a lot of people off. Maybe if they didn't market it as a Train to Busan movie, people would have liked it more. I really like the last half hour of it. I don't think it's great, but the last half hour really makes up for this movie for me. Like, especially the last 10 or 15 minutes, I just think are absolutely remarkable. Just incredible. I'm curious how everybody does, like, alphabetical order and stuff like that. Do you alphabetize? So, like, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Do you put that under H or Fast and Furious? Do you put Peninsula under Peninsula or Train to Busan? And National Lampoons, do you put under National Lampoons or under C for Christmas Vacation? I'm curious how everybody does that. All right, next up, we've got, like, Transformers. I got 2 copies of, like, all these. I need to put these aside in my little duplicates pile so I could either trade or sell or give away. I don't really sell, so more like trade or give away. I usually use it for trades, and if nobody wants to trade, I just do giveaways for these Steelbooks. All right, next up after that, we've got, I think, 2 of these ones as well. Yep, this is Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. I think the first one's really good. I like the first 3 for the most part. First 2 with Megan Fox especially. First one especially is awesome. The reason I have multiples, guy on Instagram gave me all these, and I already had them all. So, I think some more right here, or I bought them on Walmart. I can't remember, but anyways, yeah. Transformers Age of Extinction. You know, unless there's, like, clips of it, this one's got a scratch anyways on the back right there. So, yeah, right there. And this one's clean. Sometimes I'll buy an extra Steelbook because of a damaged copy. But yeah, I don't even remember which ones are which. So, unless there's like a clip of it on the back. Dark of the Moon is this? Dark of the Moon. Don't even ask me which one's which. I've seen the first 3, and then I think the one with Mark Wahlberg I watched parts of, and then there's another one that I haven't even watched. So I haven't even seen both Mark Wahlberg ones. Transformers The Last Night. Is this the last one with Shia LaBeouf, right? I thought I seen this one. You know what? I don't even know. It might be one of the ones with Mark Wahlberg. I don't even know. I think this is Tremors, right? Yep, Tremors. Here we go. This is a Zavi exclusive. You know what? This was actually at FYE, but I think the one I have is a Zavi exclusive because they put it out first and then FYE put it out. That happened to me a lot, where I'd get this Zavi exclusive, which is Region B, and then FYE put something out, or another country in here. But I have a Blu-ray player that's region free anyways. But I got OCD, and I like the American version of it. I don't like the stamps that Zavi puts on it. Region B, 18, 15. I hate that stuff they put on the discs. All right, next up, Trick or Treat. This is kind of a fun anthology movie. I'm not the biggest anthology fan, but I do like this one. And I kind of watch it every Trick or Treat, every Halloween, every October. Next up, Trolls World Tour. Don't ask me. It's another one that got sent to me on YouTube or Instagram. Another really cool Steelbook, though. For some reason, I really like the Steelbook. I think it's awesome. But I'm happy to have it, but I've never seen the movies. I think there's 2 or something like that. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. This movie is such a blast. I love this movie, and I mean absolutely love this movie. It is so much fun. Katrina Bowden, who I've mentioned earlier, right there, she's absolutely stunning, gorgeous in this. I think she's a lot of fun, and I think she's good in this one, but she's never been like a huge actress, never gotten a huge role, understandably so, but she's good in this one. And these two are absolutely great. They are hilarious in this. I don't know, I just love watching the kind of the geeky, you know, whatever, you know, hillbilly dude get the... It had never happened probably in real life, but it's cool to watch on film. Yeah, that was cool to me. She's a really cool character, and that's what I love about Katrina Bowden in that movie. But that Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is so funny. Next up, Unbroken. This is such a good movie. Such a great movie. I think this is a Target exclusive. Excellent movie. Very inspiring. Uncharted. This came with like a necklace, I believe, pendulent or something. And they raised the prices of it because of that. It's a pretty cool Steelbook. But the movie's really just, I guess, okay, above average. It's not very entertaining is the problem. And I feel like an Uncharted movie should be a lot more entertaining. All right, moving on. We got Uncle Drew Steelbook. I actually did a Steelbooks and slipcovers tournament I hosted on my channel a while back if you want to go check it out. It's a lot of fun. And I pulled this out at the end of the round. I was giving bonus points to anybody who owned a Steelbook I pulled out, but I was trying to make it challenging. I pulled this and nobody owned it. And I kind of got some crap for it, of course. But it's fun. I like Uncle Drew, but I'm a big NBA fan. I'm a big basketball fan. I'm actually a Dallas Mavericks fan. Funny story. And Kyrie Irving, who plays Uncle Drew, just ended up getting traded to the Dallas Mavericks. So we'll see how that works out. I'm not a big Kyrie fan, but I'm a Mavericks fan, so we'll see how that works out. But you got Shaquille O'Neal, you got Reggie Miller. I'm a Reggie Miller fan. I liked him as a kid. It's a fun cast. It's a fun movie. Honestly, as a basketball fan, if you like basketball, this movie's fun. I have the 4K of it. Surprisingly enough, they did put this out on 4K, and I have that Steelbook, so I double dipped on it. I like Uncle Drew. Moving on to Underworld. We've got the Underworld Steelbook. This is another franchise. I actually haven't seen any of them. I've seen bits and pieces, but I do need to watch this entire franchise because I like vampires. I believe it's vampires. And I love Kate Beckinsale. I mean, she's one of the most beautiful and talented actresses out there. So you've got Underworld. You have got Underworld Evolution. And these are all those like pop art Steelbooks. Really cool artwork. And they have the signature down there at the bottom. Sorry, I'm covering this one up. But yeah, so same artist. So Underworld Evolution. Also same artist, Underworld Rise of the Lycans. So if you've seen the Underworld franchise, let me know what your thoughts are. Should I check it out really soon? Should I binge watch them all? Would you recommend them? Underworld Awakening, same artist as well, of course. And then, honestly, probably my favorite Steelbook of them all. I think this is awesome artwork. You got Underworld, Blood Wars. And this 4K Steelbook was going for, at the time, I got this, where did I get this? Was it Disc Replay? I got it for like 10 bucks or something. I think it was at Disc Replay. It might have been half price books. I think it was Disc Replay. But anyways, I got this. It was like 10 bucks or 15 bucks, I swear, maybe less. And I went on eBay and it was going for like over $100. So it was crazy to me. I think there's a Blu-ray Steelbook of this as well that sells for a lot cheaper. It might have gone down in price now. But anyways, I don't care. I don't sell stuff, so I don't really care what the value is. But it's cool to see, like, you got stuff that's worth money, I guess. But, you know, one person said movies aren't an investment, which is a good point, I suppose. But you definitely have movies that are worth money. You know, if you have a collection, you have stuff that's worth money. Not that I care, because I'm not looking to sell it. Underworld Collection Steelbook. That's pretty cool on the moon. I've never seen that before. It's like a werewolf, I guess. So maybe it's a werewolf movie, zombies and wolves. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen it. And I got this recently at half price books. I think it was $9.99. I was like, okay, I'll grab it. It's another Steelbook. So Underworld Awakening. Really cool Steelbook as well. So there's really cool Steelbooks on those. But yes, Underworld, the franchise, and I'll have to check that out for sure. The franchise. Untouchables. I just recently watched this. I believe it was last year because this Steelbook came out, and I watched it, and I thought it was excellent. Untouchables was incredible. Yes, Sean Connery, Robert De Niro, Andy Garcia. You got such a good cast in this one. Andy Garcia is really young. Kevin Costner is one of my favorites, if not my favorite actor. So you got Robert De Niro and Kevin Costner, two of my favorite actors ever. Little spoiler alert here. This is a big spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Untouchables, pause this video or fast forward about 20 seconds or mute it. I'm giving a spoiler warning right now. I'm going to get into it. But I remember I was talking to my dad recently about the Untouchables, and he was like, man, when they killed... when Sean Connery died, like, that's the first thing he brought up. And then I talked to somebody else, and they were like, yeah, Sean Connery was my boy in that. So it was a downer for everybody when he passed in the movie. All right, moving on. We've got Us. Just like, it makes sense if you've seen the movie. The scissors is a pretty cool touch, and it is embossed, I guess, or debossed, whatever. But it's a cool Steelbook, pretty cool. It's better than Nope, let's just say that. But I feel like they need, like, what I'm realizing about the Nope and Us Steelbook is that with these Jordan Peele movies, it seems like they're just putting one little picture on the front and one picture on the back. And it's not a lot of thought. But this one's way better than Nope. And I actually like Us more than Nope as well. But I haven't rewatched any of his movies yet. They're movies that beg to be rewatched, but they're not something that I want to rewatch right away. I need time to, like, forget about it and then rewatch it. Us, I think it's time for a rewatch. Next up, we have got Venom, the Venom Steelbook here. And then very similar, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This has to be one of the laziest Steelbooks, in my opinion. Cool artwork, but then they went and did, like, the same darn artwork on the back. It's very similar. It's almost the same thing. It's lazy. It's not good. It's not good. I don't like that. When you do the same, when you don't either put artwork on the back, people complain about no artwork on the inside of it. Imagine Steelbooks that have no artwork on the back, how lazy that is. Or when they do the same artwork. I'm not a fan. All right, Vertigo. This one I haven't seen. I didn't watch this yet. I chose to watch a different Alfred Hitchcock on that night. I was thinking about watching this, but I haven't gotten around to that one yet. Need to watch it. 4K Steelbook there. All right, V for Vendetta. I haven't watched this one yet either. Natalie Portman, Hugo Weaving. I don't even know who that is. Cool Steelbook. Zavi exclusive embossing. All right, next up we've got War for the Planet of the Apes. Not All Heroes Are Human. So I haven't seen that one. I've only watched the first of that trilogy, and I know they're making a fourth one. All right, Warrior. This is top 10, top 15, maybe top 15 favorite films of all time. I really like that front, and then the back, it's a Zavi exclusive. This does have a dent on here somewhere. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It has like a dent right on his cheekbone. But it's a excellent movie. This is such a good movie. Gavin O'Connor directed that, The Way Back, and so many other great sports movies as well. But The Warrior, or it's just called Warrior, not to be mistaken with The Warriors. Warrior, and here's The Warriors, which this Steelbook only has the theatrical cut on DVD. So I went to watch it. I watched the Blu-ray of it, which is the director's cut, and I didn't really like it. They had like some comic book elements to it, and it's not very good. But it's watchable. It's not bad. It's not like they take out stuff, I don't think. But The Warriors is like top 25, top 50 favorite films of all time. And this Steelbook's really cool. There's so many... Have you ever seen a Steelbook with so many characters on it? That's really cool. And then they re-released this. The Warriors, it is so good. Such a good movie. Can't wait for 4K. It's inevitably coming. I'm hoping Kino Lorber, because they have that deal with Paramount, and they've been putting out some great titles. They announced Sudden Death, Face Off. When are we getting The Warriors from Kino Lorber? I'm telling you, it's going to be Kino Lorber. If not them, Paramount. It's coming soon. It's got to happen. Waterworld. Waterworld right there. Smeat on the back. Yeah, this is a fun one. It's not great, but it's a pretty cool idea. It's got some cool action. There's a couple different cuts that really make the movie different. I've only seen one cut and one time. Wayne's World, there's your back of it right there. I've never seen this. I know it is Ken, Mid-Level Media, one of his favorite comedies of all time. We've got West Side Story. West Side Story. I haven't watched this one yet. This is the remake. Kind of cool front and back. If you open it up, it would look really cool together. But yeah, I haven't seen West Side Story remake, but the Steven Spielberg. I think it was pretty highly rated, but I think it was definitely hated by some. All right, last row on this Steelbook behind me. Like I said in part one, this isn't my setup. Like this is my setup. This is my Steelbook wall, I'm calling it. But I'm actually going to shift these right here down that way and then move this one behind me right here and push it up against the wall because I don't like this little space right there. And yeah, I'm going to be moving the movie room around a little bit still. I've got like 3 shelves over here. I'm going to have 4 more shelves in here, which is going to make 7. And it's funny because my movie room only has 6 shelves, but that's all the space I have in there. And I have a lot more space in this living room. So technically it's going to be more like a movie apartment when I'm all said and done, but I'll call it my movie room and living room, but I got movie stuff all over the place. My bedroom, I'm keeping that like off limits. No movies, no stuff like that. Trying to keep it all separate. All right, I went off on a tangent there just because I was onto the last row here, and then I got to get onto this shelf, which you could see right there is the rest of the studio stuff. I'm keeping all that little space right there for other studio releases. I'm making sure I keep space so I don't run out. Moving on, anyways, because that's all you want to hear about is the Steelbooks, right? We Were Soldiers. I haven't seen this in a long time, but you got Mel Gibson. It's another one of my favorite war movies. I watched so many of those when I was that age, that 12, 13, 14 years old. And that is a Zavi exclusive Steelbook. We Were Soldiers. Such a good one. Whiplash. You can watch this, honestly. Like, this movie doesn't get old to me. It borders 5 stars, and honestly, it's probably a 5-star film for me. I think it's a pretty perfect movie. If I rewatch it again, it'll probably be up there. I think Sound of Metal right there with that 5 stars as well. I just watched Sound of Metal, and I think it's just as good as Whiplash. If you've seen Whiplash and you like Whiplash, then you need to see Sound of Metal. But yes, Whiplash is so darn good. J.K. Simmons, Miles Teller. I'm a Miles Teller fan. This is the 4K Steelbook of it. And then you got Whiplash Blu-ray Steelbook. Not nearly as nice as the 4K in my opinion. Such a cool Steelbook. Wizard of Oz. Really cool 4K Steelbook. I still haven't rewatched this yet, and I watched it when I was probably like 4 or 5, so I need to rewatch that desperately. Wolf Creek, the second one. Okay, so this doesn't have a Region A Blu-ray. There's no American Blu-ray release of the original Wolf Creek. I don't believe there is. Second one has one, I believe, but this one doesn't. I'm not sure. Are they making a third one? I thought I heard something about Wolf Creek 3. There are also 2 TV shows of this, 2 seasons. I watched season 1. I thought it started really good, and then I thought it kind of petered out. But Wolf Creek season 1 was really good too, for the most part. And then they made a second season, and I haven't watched season 2. How's season 2? If you've seen season 2 of Wolf Creek, please let me know how it is. Wolf Creek movie. Not bad. Not great. Haven't rewatched it in ages, though. Saw it in theaters. World War Z. Another one I haven't rewatched in ages. Desperately need a rewatch of World War Z. Wrath of the Titans. Wrath of the Titans. I don't think I've seen this one. Yeah, I think I've seen Clash of the Titans. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen Wrath of the Titans, though. X-Men Trilogy, Volume 2. 2 big dents on the back there. You could probably see them. Yep. But I got it like cheap at Disc Replay on Black Friday. Really cheap. Triple X, XXX, Return of Xander Cage. I think I've seen the first Triple X movie. I haven't seen any of the other ones. Is there 2 or 3? One of my favorite Steelbooks. You're Next. You know, for the longest time, I wasn't sure if this was like a scratch on there on the back. You won't be able to tell, but it's just such cool artwork. That's all it is. But this is just, You're Next is, or no, it was on the front. It was like a right there, but it's the artwork. Your Next is incredible. This was that old Zombie exclusive Steelbook. I got this for like $9, $8 on sale. They were going for like 12 or 15, honestly. Like I said, back in the day, Zavi, super cheap, and then they got really expensive and a little bit more lazy. Such a cool Steelbook, and I could watch that one because I have a region-free player now. Your Next needs a 4K. And you know what? Lionsgate put this out. Are we going to be... I'm pretty sure Lionsgate. Yeah, Lionsgate put this out. Lionsgate needs to do a 4K Steelbook, and they've dabbled with a lot of horror movies. We need to get a Lionsgate Steelbook of The Descent, High Tension, and Your Next. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome. The Descent, definitely. 4K Steelbook, bring it on. Your Next deserves a 4K treatment. And everybody would love a High Tension 4K Steelbook because that Blu-ray is super old and it needs a new upgrade. So give me all 4 of those. And is Cabin Fever also Lionsgate? Anyways, they have a lot to do. So somebody send this video to Lionsgate and maybe they'll make it happen, because I know they made the Warrior happen right after Steelbook Obsessed made a video. So they've been making a lot happen, and I hope they make Your Next happen. All right, Zombieland. This is the Blu-ray Steelbook of it. I love Zombieland. Such a fun movie. I love Zombieland so much. Zombieland 4K Steelbook of it. There's the back of it. Such a funny, entertaining, yeah, it's just a fun one. Emma Stone, Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Abigail Breslin, such a great cast. Then they brought them all back for this one, and it's definitely lost a touch, but it's still a ton of fun. Like, this is still such a fun movie. And they brought, I can never remember her name, but yeah, she's in it. And then I got another one as well. Another one from Instagram, of course, the guy when he sold me all those movies. And last but not least on this shelf here for the studio releases, and then I'm going to get into like Disney, DC, all that stuff right after I wrap this up here on this shelf, but it'll be in the same video here. We've got Zoolander. I watched this in theaters with my mom and dad, and maybe we saw it as a family. This was back in the day when my mom kind of taught us how to sneak into movies and not pay for the second show. But Zoolander was not good. I remember not liking it. I've never seen the full movie because we left in the middle of the movie, and we never did that. But my parents were not having it. My mom was like, yeah, we're leaving. This is stupid. So Zoolander was not my thing. But when it comes to comedies, some people love those really stupid comedies. Ben Stiller, when he plays a serious role, I love Ben Stiller. I think he's great. Along Came Polly, The Heartbreak Kid. There's a couple others out there. But when he plays a stupid character, like in Dodgeball and Zoolander, I can't stand it. I can't stand him. But I do like Dodgeball, just not his character in that. But, yeah, that's Zoolander. That's all of these. All right, moving on to the next shelf over here. You probably see some Steelbooks disappeared. This is actually, I separated these Steelbooks. These are all Disney Steelbooks. Why I did this, I don't know. I may eventually just throw them into the studio releases and kind of keep them all just shuffled in by alphabetical order. But I did it this way for right now. Let me know what you think. Do you like it like this, separating your Disney Steelbooks, DC and Marvel, or do you just throw it all in together? Anyways, I did separate my Lionsgate Steelbook, so as you can see right there. Disney, I'm not a fan of, though. So most of these I probably haven't seen. Most of these I got from that person on Instagram that sold me a ton of Steelbooks. And these were just kind of thrown in there, but I'm not a big Disney fan, but I love collecting Steelbooks. So Aladdin, I watched this as a kid. I bought this one and this on the same day. And this was back when Target made digibooks. So I haven't seen the remake with Will Smith, but this was back when Target made digibooks. And I ended up buying, such a waste of money, like, because I haven't even watched either one of them. And I bought 4 copies, 2 copies of the original Aladdin, 2 copies of the remake, 2 digibooks, 2 steelbooks. It was something like $160 probably. But Target doesn't do the digibooks anymore. If they did, I'd keep double dipping because I loved those digibooks. Next up with Big Hero 6. Really cool steelbook here. Such awesome embossing right there. I haven't seen this. Some of these I might get around to. Here's the thing. I'm just not into cartoons, animation, anime, for that matter, but animation's not really my thing. Kids movies, like, and I know that's probably offensive to some people. I shouldn't call them kids movies. I would think that they're considered kids movies though, right? I'm not saying adults can't enjoy them, but, and I might, I just haven't given them a chance. I'm not a big Disney guy, and I'm not a big animation guy. There's really two that I've seen. It's Kung Fu Panda, and we'll get into the next one, but Kung Fu Panda, I haven't even seen the second or third, but I remember liking Kung Fu Panda. All right, Cars 3 is the next one. Another one thrown in there. Haven't seen it. Finding Dory. I've seen Finding Nemo. I don't have that Steelbook. I haven't seen Finding Dory. Finding Nemo's okay. Like I said, they're not bad movies. They're just not for me. I'm just not going to watch like a quote-unquote kids movie, animation and stuff like that, talking animals, and it's just cartoons, and it's just not my thing. The Incredibles, and I've heard great things. I've heard incredible things about these movies. This is a really cool Steelbook. I think this is worth a lot of money. So that one was tossed in there. Great prices he gave me on these. Haven't seen it. This is another really cool Steelbook. So they did some great work on this one. This is just an awesome, like, it's like a washer. I don't even, is this, Incredibles 2, okay. So there's Incredibles 2. Inside Out. This was back when they did these Steelbooks. Best Buy put them out. Really nice artwork on there, embossing and stuff. They put a little kind of thing there. And now Disney's doing a bunch of stuff for their 100th anniversary, and so is WB. Lightyear. I haven't seen this one yet. I've heard it's not great. We'll see. Lion King. This is the original. You know, I watched this probably when I was 4 or 5 or 2 or 3. I have to rewatch it. That's the original. No, I lied. This is the original. This is the original one. And this is the remake that I saw in theaters. So I've seen both of these. It's just been like 20 years. But I actually saw 4 movies in theaters with my buddy Will. It's a fun day. We saw 4 movies. We went to 2 different theaters. I'd have to recall all 4 movies, but this was one of them. This was the 4th movie, and we were tired, and yeah, we were tired. Moana is up next. Haven't seen it, but my goddaughter, she absolutely loves this movie. She did, like, a year ago. We'll see if she still loves it, but a big reason I have a lot of these and I separated them is because, you know, if my niece ever comes over, sleeps over or something like that, it'll be good to have some of these Disney movies and, you know, keep her calm and quiet and watch something with her. It gives me an excuse to watch it. So, all right, Ralph Breaks the Internet, I believe. Yeah, I haven't seen this one. Seems like out of all of them, maybe I'd be interested in that a little bit, somewhat. Ratatouille. Yeah, Ratatouille. Don't know much about it. Haven't seen it. Santa Claus, the trilogy. It's Disney. I have seen all 3 of these. I love Santa Claus. The Santa Claus is great. Such a fun Christmas movie. Santa Claus 2, I used to love it. It used to be my favorite, and now it's definitely not. Still not bad. It's just definitely not as good as I remember being a kid. And Santa Claus 3 is not a good movie. Toy Story is the other one. So this and Kung Fu Panda I've seen. I love Toy Story, but you know what? Here's a part of it. None of those movies I saw as a kid. Aladdin I did, Lion King I did, but like all these other ones I was naming in there, Inside Out and whatnot, are great movies I hear, but I didn't watch them as kids, right? So it's like what you grew up with, nostalgia, things like that. I stopped watching Disney and all those movies when I got older. But Toy Story, I grew up with, so they're always hold that sentimental value. But Toy Story is a classic. I love Toy Story. It's such a good one. It's probably my favorite Disney movie, along with, like, the Santa Claus movies. Toy Story 2 and Marvel is Disney, considered Disney, so there's that. But Toy Story 2 is also good. I love the way they matched these 2 Steelbooks. And then they matched this 3rd one. And it's so cool the way they did this. And it's awesome. And then they all got this artwork on the back here. Just really cool. Love Toy Story, like I said. I'm just a huge fan of it. And then Toy Story 2 was really good. Toy Story 3. I like Toy Story 3. I thought it ended really well, kind of ended the trilogy. And then they made this unmatching Steelbook of Toy Story 4 that doesn't even have the title right here. as the Spoon. Is that Keanu Reeves up there, right? Plays the voice of that. I don't know who plays the voice there, but I still enjoyed this. I had fun with it. It came out the same day as Child's Play, I believe, in theaters. And yeah, you know how people mess around and put like the family-friendly Jack Frost inside the horror one? How funny would have it been for parents to take their kids to go see Child's Play instead of Toy Story? Or the theater messed up and put Child's Play. That would have been super funny instead of Toy Story. All right, enough of that. Up. It says grape soda. I haven't seen this one either. Is Up or Inside Out the one that people like? Which one's the one the first 5 minutes makes everybody cry? I haven't seen that, but somebody sent me the clip and I did not cry. But I haven't seen the movie. Is it Up? It's Up, right? Yeah. And then somebody said Inside Out's really good too. But yeah, Up is the one that makes everybody cry in the first 5 minutes, I believe. It did not make me cry. Maybe I'm heartless. I don't know. Maybe I'd have to see the movie. WALL-E. This is actually another one that I've seen. And I couldn't give two craps about this movie. I don't like it. God, WALL-E's boring. I'd have to rewatch it, but like, because I'm older, maybe I'd hate it even more. There's no way I could hate this movie even more. I couldn't stand this. It was like my least favorite movie I saw that year. The reason I saw it is I was seeing everything that year in theaters. I didn't like WALL-E. I did not like WALL-E. That's why when the 4K got announced from Criterion, I was like, okay, this is already a 4K Steelbook. Everybody's freaking out because they think that Criterion's going to do all these Disney movies now, and they haven't announced a single other one. And I was like, don't get your hopes up with Disney. Even this Mill Creek deal, I keep telling people, don't get your hopes up, okay? You could see one, you could see nothing, or a bunch of re-releases. And why was WALL-E so special from Criterion? I guess it looked a little bit better, but it's like it was already on 4K. Why is that awesome? I think it excited people because they were hoping for more 4Ks or more Criterion to put out Disney, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm a Debbie Downer, whatever. I'm just a realist, and I just don't see that happening. We still haven't even gotten Barbarian yet because they own the rights to it. Wreck-It Ralph. And when they put out the menu, that's going for $60,000 or something like that on Best Buy, right? But if you're a Total Tech member, I think it's only $20,000. But the menu, no slipcover even, and only a Blu-ray. All right, and it's $60,000. So you could do a pay in 4 and only pay $15,000 every 2 weeks, though. All right, Wreck-It Ralph, Fix-It Felix, it says on the back. Yep. And very similar. Very similar. One's probably Zavi. One is Disney, Best Buy, maybe. But they both say Disney on it. Anyways, I think one's 4K too. Probably. I don't know. But that's all the Disney stuff. So then we're going to get into Marvel next. All right. So I actually had finished recording last night, took a little bit of a break, and I went out today and picked up a few more Steelbooks. It is Blu-ray Tuesday when I'm recording this right now, and I grabbed 3 Steelbooks that will be in this video. I grabbed 4 altogether today, but I'm going to get into my Marvel collection, so maybe you have an idea of what I grabbed. But we've got Ant-Man we're going to start with here. These are the 4K Steelbooks that they had re-released all of. I was a big fan of Ant-Man. I liked it. I like Paul Rudd, though. I'm pretty biased. I'm a big Paul Rudd fan. I think it's funny. I think they're fun movies. This is the original Ant-Man Blu-ray Steelbook. My buddy Johnny, he sent me this and the Doctor Strange Steelbook, actually. And at the time, this is really cool, like embossing here, and you got the Ant-Man right there. But at the time, these were super out of print, and he was getting rid of all of his physical media. So he gave me all of his physical media, and he has gone completely digital now. But we keep in touch every day. And yeah, it's awesome. He's a great guy. He actually hooks me up with the digital copies he's always buying off of me. So it really helps. Because as you know, movies are not cheap. So it helps to sell those digital copies. But shout out to you, Johnny. Thank you so much. Another Ant-Man Steelbook. I think they came out with like 4 of these. I think Avengers, Age of Ultron, maybe a Civil War, and then Avengers one. So there's 4 of them. I think I have 3 of the 4. We'll find out. But that's Ant-Man. Here is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't think this is the greatest Steelbook artwork in the world, but as far as this movie goes, Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think her name's Evangeline. I love this movie. It's definitely one of my favorites. It might be my favorite Marvel movie, to be honest with you. It's just so much fun. It's not the best Marvel movie in the world, but it came out right after Infinity War. It's a ton of fun. At the time, I was going through and binge watching all the Marvel movies because I hadn't seen many of them at all, just a few really. And I just loved Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's just a fun movie. It's just a blast. It's so much fun. Here's the Avengers. This is the 4K Steelbook. It's a good one. I feel like that's the third best Avengers movie. Then you've got that other Avengers Steelbook I was telling you about, that same matching artwork as Ant-Man there. This is Avengers Age of Ultron there. I think this is probably the second, it's the fourth best. It's the fourth out of the franchise, in my opinion. Here's another Age of Ultron. You got the back of it there. And then here's the other one. So you got one with Ultron and one with the villain. I don't remember his name. But anyways, yes, that's both of those. And then you've got Avengers Age of Ultron. So I've got 3 of them so far. This is Avengers Age of Ultron. That is the matching artwork I was telling you about. So that's 3 of the 4. Then Avengers in Endgame. So I went by alphabetical order, not like chronological or anything like that. Pretty cool Steelbook. They were all pretty similar. This is that 4K Steelbook. And they actually have all the returning characters, I feel like, are on the back. The ones that were gone and then came back. So that's kind of cool. Next up, we've got Avengers Infinity War. So that's that 4K Steelbook there. Feels like so long ago that those were kind of made. Then we've got a Black Panther Steelbook. This is the 4K that they kind of re-released all of these on. This was the last like 4K re-release they did, and this matching artwork with that theme on it. This is the original Black Panther Steelbook. I think it's just Blu-ray. Or no, you know what? This is 4K Steelbook, I think. But either way, there's the back of it. Classic. Black Panther's a great movie. Really enjoyed that one. And then you've got this one, which I picked up today. This is the 3rd Black Panther Steelbook I have. Just picked it up. And then we've got Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And one of the reasons why I'd waited to film this part of my video here is because I was picking up these 3 Steelbooks. And I wanted to give my thoughts on Black Panther Wakanda Forever because I just finished watching it. I thought it was okay at best. The more I kind of think about it, I'm like, it's not very good. I didn't actually, I guess I'm in the minority. I didn't really like the tribute to Chadwick Boseman in the beginning. I didn't think they did it justice. I think he deserved better. But I really liked the tribute at the end. I thought it came full circle really well. But you could tell Chadwick Boseman was really missing in this movie. It was an impossible situation for them, but yeah, it just did. I don't know. It was okay, I guess. Wasn't a big fan, but this is a really cool Steelbook. I actually don't really like the villain in this. I guess I'm in the minority on that too, but I'll give it 2.5 stars. I kind of teetered with 3, and I even teetered with 2, but I'm going to go 2.5. Here is Captain America, the First Avenger. That is that 4K Steelbook that they re-released those. Another Captain America. This one's Civil War. I think, yeah, this one's Civil War. Another one of those 4K re-releases here. I really like this Steelbook artwork. Pretty sweet. And then Captain America Civil War as well. This is one of my favorites. I think it's awesome. It's got some embossing right here as well. Super nice Steelbook. Excellent movie. Great kind of ending to it. Just a big fan of Captain America Civil War. That, Endgame, Infinity War, honestly, Ant-Man and the Wasp, probably some of my favorites. There's a couple others as well. All right, so continuing on with the trend of Captain America, we've got Captain America, the Winter Soldier. This is the first one. And technically, I believe this is the very first one in the chronological order. So it is the first one I went and I watched. I think when I started to binge watch all of these, I was actually house sitting at the time at my brother-in-law's and my sister's. And I started to watch these. He had a lot of them. And I started with that one. And then, like, Incredible Hulk. That was one of the ones I had seen. Iron Man and Incredible Hulk might have been the only two I had seen out of the first, like, 20 Marvel movies or so. Honestly, it was pretty crazy. I just wasn't big into Marvel, and then I watched them and I really enjoyed them. Here's another Captain America. This is Winter Soldier. This is that original, I think, 3D Blu-ray Steelbook. So I recently picked that up at a good price. After that, we've got Captain Marvel. So I am missing the Captain America Civil War Steelbook that Best Buy put out. That is out of the 4, I'm missing that one. This is Captain Marvel. I love Goose. I wish he was on part of the Steelbook. Absolutely love Goose. Oh, he is on the Steelbook. He's at the bottom there. I'm a big cat guy. Like, I don't have pets. Don't know if I ever will. But I love Goose. I think cats are pretty awesome. Next up, we've got Doctor Strange. So this is that Steelbook that my buddy Johnny had given me. Appreciate that. I don't like Doctor Strange. Maybe I'm in the minority. It's probably one of the few Marvel movies I'm not a big fan of. But that whole magic and all that stuff to do with Doctor Strange is not my thing. So Doctor Strange is like the one I can't really do. And I haven't even seen, there's another Doctor Strange. This is the 4K Steelbook. I haven't even seen this one yet. Haven't gotten around to it. It's like one of the only 2 or 3 I haven't seen. So there's that. We have got the Eternals. I did see this, and I don't think it's very good either. Okay at best, I guess. I think I gave it 2.5, and I feel like I'm being generous with that. But one of the actresses, she plays a deaf character. She's deaf in real life. She's that character right there. She's in The Walking Dead, in which she was also in Sound of Metal. I'm a big fan of her, and I hope to see her in more stuff. We've got Incredible Hulk. This is like, I think they put out a 4K Steelbook of that. I actually really like Incredible Hulk. I like Edward Norton as well, Liv Tyler. I was a big fan of Incredible Hulk. Iron Man, 4K Steelbook there. Then we have got Iron Man 2, 4K Steelbook as well. That's the back of it there. Iron Man 3, 4K Steelbook. See, I combined all my 4Ks. I know some people, it's really cool to see the way everybody does things differently. Some people separate their 4Ks. But with Steelbooks, they don't actually always say like Ultra HD on there. A lot of Steelbooks will say Blu-ray on the spine, and it's actually a 4K. So I don't separate them. I just put all my Steelbooks together. Studio, that's kind of how I did it. But it's really cool to see the different way different people do it. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1. It's a very fun movie. I enjoy it. I think it's right on par with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which we'll get into. This is a really cool Steelbook. This is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It's embossing right there. Don't push. That's a really cool Steelbook. Shang-Chi. I've heard good things about this one. I do like the director. I went and looked at his other work. I got to check this one out. I haven't seen it. So this is 2 that I haven't seen. I got to check that out at some point. Spider-Man Far From Home. This, out of the 3, like the trilogy, this was the one I probably liked the least, but I did enjoy this. What I didn't like about it is something that most people really loved about it. But once again, not really my thing, right? I'm not big into like fantasies and dreams and hallucinations, but so is that Mysterio or something like that? That whole scene where he's hallucinating, it is not my thing. I couldn't stand that. But it's a big part of Mysterio. I understand that, just not my thing. But I really like that. I like the whole trilogy. I like this one better than the second. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. I think it's a good kind of entry into it. And then we've got another Spider-Man Steelbook, Homecoming. And then this is that Spider-Man is this No Way Home? Okay, so Spider-Man No Way Home. I loved this one. It's my favorite in this Phase 4, was it? I haven't seen it since I saw it back in December of last year, or 2 years ago or whatever. So it's been a little over a year. I got to rewatch it soon. I love the whole introduction with all the other Spider-Mans. Once again, not big into like multiverse stuff, but that one really works for me. I was a big fan of it. I just really love Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland's like chemistry and all being together. That's awesome to me. Thor, the original Thor here, 4K Steelbook of it. I like Thor. I think it's really good. Not my favorite in the Marvel franchise, but I really like Thor. Then we've got Thor: The Dark World. Probably one of my least favorite, maybe my least favorite Marvel movies. This, Eternals, honestly, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Doctor Strange, those would probably be some of my least favorite. But I don't necessarily hate any Marvel movies, though. But some I kind of don't like more than others. All right, just about done finishing up these Marvel movies here. We've got Thor: The Dark World right here. Once again, didn't really like that one, but that's that original Steelbook. There's actually an extra disc spot for this, and it doesn't have it, though. It, like, never came with one. I hate when Steelbooks and Blu-ray cases do that, have an extra disc spot with no disc. Thor: Love and Thunder. I gave this 3.5 out of the theater, but honestly, probably more like a 3 or 2.5. The humor's not really great. The Steelbook's really nice. It's a pretty cool Steelbook. It's embossing and stuff. You got Natalie Portman there. It's not bad. It's not great, though. Christian Slater's great in it, though, as well. And Thor: Ragnarok. This one is also embossed here. This one is my favorite Thor movie, and it is probably in my top 5, top 10 Marvel movies. And if you didn't notice, the only one I'm missing is Black Widow. I still need to grab it. I know my buddy actually grabbed a copy and is kind of hanging on to it for me. I just got to pay him for it, so hopefully he's still got it. But yeah, I need Black Widow Steelbook still. All right, getting into the DC next here. We've got Aquaman. Pretty good movie. You got Amber Heard in it, who's probably like the most hated person in the world, or one of them, right? Yeah, I like Aquaman. It's not great. It's pretty good, though. I enjoy it, but the DC's kind of a whole mess. We've got the Batman Steelbook here, this one. And then we've got, I kept that one sealed because I have this one. This one's also sealed. I ended up with 2 of them, bought 2. I actually bought 4 because Best Buy was a whole mess at the time, and I returned 2 of them. And I kept an extra one just in case it goes out of print and I can trade it, or somebody. I am not the kind of person who scalps. I don't trade, so, or I'm sorry, I don't sell. I will trade. So I always held on to an extra one because if I have a friend out there who's like, hey, I really need that, I'll either look for a trade or I'll give them to really a cost price, maybe a few bucks more or something like that. But yeah, I'm not a scalper. I don't do that stuff. Same Steelbook. Just open this one. I haven't rewatched it, but I did watch it in theaters. It's really long. It's pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. We've got Batman, the original one. I hadn't watched any of these 4 until probably a few years ago, and I enjoyed this one. It's definitely my favorite of those 4. Got another Batman Steelbook right there. Batman Begins. Yeah, it's a good one. This is part of that Christopher Nolan trilogy. I actually, wait, Batman Begins. I haven't seen all of that. I don't think so. I've seen like half of it. I'm definitely positive I haven't seen the entire thing. So I got to check out that in its entirety. Another Batman Begins Steelbook there. So that's really the only Batman movie I haven't seen in its entirety. I need to watch that. We've got Batman Returns. It's pretty decent. Jesus, I forgot here. Okay, so we've got Batman. It's like double-sided there. Batman vs. Superman. I'm a Ben Affleck fan. I'm not saying he's the best Batman. Some people actually think he is. But I'm a big Ben Affleck fan, so you won't hear me speaking poorly about him. Birds of Prey, I don't think it's the best, but I don't think it's bad. There's some pretty fun action sequences in that. Margot Robbie, of course, she's great. Next up, we have got Black Adam. Speaking of Black Adam, my buddy Diego had just texted me and said, if you want to watch a bad superhero movie, check out Black Adam. He's not a fan because I was telling him I didn't like Wakanda Forever very much. I didn't think it was great. And he said, if you want to watch a bad superhero movie, watch Black Adam. Haven't seen it yet. The Dark Knight is up next. This and Kick-Ass and maybe like Endgame are probably up there for my favorite superhero movies of all time. The Dark Knight, another one. Really cool posters on those. I remember when they came out. I think it was this one was such a hyped up poster and so hard to get your hands on. This was The Dark Knight Rises. Not as good as The Dark Knight, but a good follow-up. Good end to that trilogy. We've got Green Lantern. I just kind of threw this in there with the DC, not necessarily part of the DC universe, but neither are the first 4 Batman movies. We've got Joker. You know, I talked about this earlier, how I hate the comparisons to Taxi Driver. I don't think this was deserving of all those Oscar nominations. I don't see how the script was super original or anything like that. If you're going to compare it to Taxi Driver, why wasn't the script, like, nominated Best Original Script or something like that? I think Joaquin Phoenix is excellent, and he's deserving of Oscar nomination for Best Actor, but yeah, that movie is not all that it's cracked up to be, in my opinion. Justice League. Okay, so this is the Justice League, the original one. This is the one... Okay, that's a... I'm not sure which one that is. I just remember, and then there's this one as well. I think that one's 4K. But I remember when Justice League, the Snyder Cut, had come out, people were actually recording themselves throwing their Steelbook out in the street, cracking it, taking a hammer to it, destroying it. A lot of people. I do not agree with that at all. Look, if you don't want something, even if you hate the movie and a better version of it comes out or something like that, why are you doing that? Trade it, sell it, give it away, anything. Like, don't destroy the thing. It's a Steelbook. A lot of people would do crazy things for Steelbooks. Like, I can't stand to see that. I hate that. Oh God, I hate that. All right, next up, we've got Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Is this 4 hours long, right? I haven't watched it yet. I haven't seen it. It's either 3 or 4 hours. I can't remember. But, yep. Curious, what does everyone do with their J cards? Because I'm always looking on the back. I mean, you're not going to get anything. But I don't like J cards. I actually have a ton. That's the only thing left at my mom's house there for me to grab and bring here. But I think I'm going to get rid of all my J cards. Like, I don't see a point in keeping J cards. I really don't like them. Yeah, I don't even see the point in keeping them in like a shoebox or an empty box or anything like that. Alrighty, continuing with Man of Steel. Good one, I like it. Shout out to my buddy Adam, who had just watched this recently, and he was telling me, he's not a big superhero guy, he's very big into horror, but he was telling me he loved Man of Steel, so he was a big fan of it. Another Man of Steel Steelbook right here. I think they came out with Batman vs. Superman Steelbook, and very similar artwork like this. I missed out on that one. We've got Shazam. I like this. My biggest kind of gripe with this movie, and it's a big one with Shazam, is that the kid-adult chemistry in this is not good at all. It's not accurate. So when he's acting like a kid, when he is playing the kid, he's very, I don't want to say mature, but he's very serious. He doesn't joke around. He's very uptight. He's very serious, right? When he becomes Zachary Levi or whatever, I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I do like Zachary Levy, whatever. But he is like he's a kid. He's acting humorous and a big jokester, and he's doing stupid stuff. And I get it because he's playing a kid, but it just doesn't match. You know, the two, they're supposed to be the same, but they act completely different. That's my biggest problem with Shazam, is they didn't get that right. They just don't act like the same person, and they're supposed to be the same person. That pisses me off. I can't get over that. Suicide Squad is up next. I don't hate this the way some do. I don't think it's very good. I don't mind it. I guess there's like is it David Ayer or something like that? Everybody wants the like Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. Another Suicide Squad Steelbook extended cut of that. Wonder Woman Steelbook here. Another Wonder Woman Steelbook right here. And then I got another one, I think, up there somewhere. So I got 3 Wonder Woman Steelbooks. And Wonder Woman 84. I like Wonder Woman a lot. I don't think this one holds a candle to Wonder Woman, and I guess they replaced the director or are going in a different direction. Maybe Gal Gadot's gone. I know they got somebody, I can't remember his name, came in, and you know, the guy who directed Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Everything, once again, when you're on camera, you forget names. Not Zack Snyder, because that's who the Snyder cut. It's, oh my God, I can't remember. But anyways, my point is, he's coming in and he's shaking things up big time. So, are you a fan? Are you not? Alrighty, so now we're past DC, we're past studio releases. Now these are like specialty studio releases stuff, okay? Maybe you remember some of these lines and when they came out, things like that. I just decided to separate them. So we've got this Fox. They came out with MGM and Fox kind of collabed together here, and they came out with 16 different steelbooks like this. They all have the matching artwork on the back, same disc art on all of them, and same kind of weird inside artwork that's pretty plain. But they had originally come out with like these slip covers for them, but they weren't actual slip covers, and then their same artwork. But they skipped a couple of them. I know that there was like a Joyride one they never came out with, and another one that they never came out with. But you got Child's Play here with that one. Love Child's Play, classic, of course. You got Wrong Turn. This is my favorite in the franchise. Really cool artwork. Same on the back. I love Wrong Turn. You got Jeepers Creepers. I did a whole kind of review on the newest one, which is how bad it is, and then I love this one. But honestly, it goes Jeepers Creepers 2, the third one, then the newest one is just dog crap. But I love Jeepers Creepers. Absolutely love it. I think it's incredibly directed. I think it's such a good horror movie. I know the director's history. We won't get into that now. But we've got The Return of the Living Dead. I did recently watch this for the first time back in October. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good, especially because I'm not overly into like silly, humoristic zombie movies like that. But no, that one worked for me. Just depends. I have seen The Fly. This is the remake. I liked it. I've only seen it once, and it was a long time ago. My buddy Chris and my dad introduced me to it. I got to watch all of them now. I have the box set from Scream Factory. We've got The Hills Have Eyes here, the remake. I absolutely love the whole Hills Have Eyes franchise. The only one I haven't seen is Mind Ripper, which is the third one. And I honestly like all of them. Even Hills Have Eyes 2, the remake and the original, are okay. Even above average for me. They're enjoyable. They're entertaining. But the remake and the original, I love both of those Hills Have Eyes. Absolutely love them. It's one of the best remakes in my opinion. We got Jennifer's Body right here. I really enjoy this. Kind of got a cult following now. I remember when it first came out, nobody really liked it. It had a lot of mixed reviews, but Jennifer's Body is pretty fun. Pretty cool movie. And then the last one that I have is Carrie. I need 8 more of them. So I think I have 8 of them, and I need 8 more. So I'm missing 8 of those, and I need to get 8 more. And they're really expensive steelbooks, those are. One of the ones I want to get that's not that expensive is Poltergeist. I just need to pull the trigger on it and order it. But there's so many movies to get. But the other 8 are, like the other 7 or so, some of them are over $100. So I'm not paying that for those. They were all 16 on the shelf at Best Buy at the time. All $9.99 these were. And now some of them go for over $100. It's crazy. You just can't predict the market for steelbooks or anything like that. All right, moving on to a different line. I separated these as well. These are the Paramount releases that all came with like the font on the spine here. So we've got 13 Hours. Talked about it earlier. I really love that one. We have got Arrival. Big fan of it. I missed out on the 4K steelbook of that one. I don't know if I'll ever get that one, but I like Arrival. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. Hopefully Jeremy Renner makes a full recovery. We have got Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. So I recently talked about it in my most recent video that Jack Reacher I didn't remember ever seeing. You know what? I actually went and I watched it that night, and I had seen it. You ever watch a movie and you're like, it just starts coming back to you? That was Jack Reacher for me. I'd seen that one, and I know I've seen Never Go Back. So, yep. We've got Lara Croft Tomb Raider, the one with Angelina Jolie. And then we've got the other Lara Croft Tomb Raider The Cradle of Life. I couldn't tell you much about those because I haven't seen them in forever. I know I've seen the first. I don't know about the second. We've got Shooter up next. I think it's pretty good. I haven't watched the TV series of it, though. I thought Shooter was decent. Next up after that, we've got Terminator Genesis, the one with Emilia Clarke. I enjoy that whole franchise for the most part. And then last in this line that I have is The Wolf of Wall Street. There's like also 8 that I'm missing in this line as well, like 7 or 8 or 6 or something like that. So I am working on completing those. They're in their own section. I'm curious, how would you do it? I'm a very big hands motion guy, I know. But how would you do it? Would you put all those, like I know some people do their horror section. I didn't do it like that because I have my boutique labels and a lot of those are horror. Would you put these and just mix them all together? Would you do it with your Marvels and mix them together? Do you like separating it? Like, I'm very curious how other people do it. Are you an alphabetical order kind of guy? You know, do you alphabetize your stuff? Very curious on that. All right, keeping the trend going with some horror movies, we've got The Wolfman. I've actually never seen this. I've never seen any of these original Universal Monster movies, but my friend Caprice has highly recommended them to me, put it on a watch list for me. I got to get around to them, and I probably will soon, to be honest with you. Next up, we've got Dracula right here. I've got to get around to this one as well. It's actually got a little spine slash I just noticed. And this one is Frankenstein. So I think this was the first one that came out. But yeah, I got to get around to all of those. I separated them for some reason, but you know what? I think I might put these, because they're just kind of match, but these are the only 3 they did. I thought they might do more. They did do The Invisible Man, but it wasn't at Best Buy. It's a Zavi exclusive, my buddy Mike had told me, and I was like, that's really stupid, so I don't even have that one. And then for the Volume 2 they didn't do Steelbooks. So I feel like I'm probably just going to throw these in that Steelbook shelf behind me because I don't feel like they serve a purpose being on their own, but I don't know, you tell me. For now, they're in their own little section. All right, another little line that these had come out. Best Buy had did like I think it was a Predator ticket stubs, you know, where they do like cash and stuff like that. So this was a line they had come out with. I'm sure you guys remember. We got iRobot right here. I'm missing 2 of them. We've got Fight Club. That one right there. I haven't seen iRobot. Fight Club. I already talked about it earlier. It's not my favorite. Predator. Love it. And then we have got Speed. So I got that Speed 4K Steelbook, and then I got this one as well. I got this one from that buddy of mine on Instagram, Rich. Okay, so there's like a little dent or scratch he had warned me about, and I was like, dude, he's like, I'll just throw it in there for like nothing or like $5 or something. I was like, yeah, let's go. It's out of print. So yeah, this is that line right here. They're not like matching necessarily, but there's 2 of the other ones I'm missing out on. I know one of them is a Taken trilogy, and then there's another one. I think it's just 2. I have them written down. I keep a list of all this stuff. All right, moving on to TV shows now. We have got Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 2, I believe. Yeah, the complete 2nd season. So this is all my TV shows. I separated these. I love this Steelbook. I haven't watched the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show. I've actually only seen Evil Dead 2, and then I watched the remake from 2013, and I'll watch Evil Dead Rise. I haven't seen Army of Darkness or any of the 3 seasons of this show, but this is an awesome Steelbook. I love the bear on the back of that. I think it's awesome. But this is another one of those where they have an extra disc tray, and I thought I got like a glitch. I thought they messed up my Steelbook, but everybody was confused because they put an extra disc slot in there and didn't have another disc. All right, next up, we've got that Chucky TV show, Season 1. Hopefully, we get a Season 2 Chucky TV show on Steelbook. I know they already announced it. They have it up for pre-order, the Season 2. But hopefully, we get a 2nd season on Steelbook. Really cool embossing. This is from Zavi. Really cool Steelbook. I watched part of Season 2, and I couldn't even finish it so far. And that was, it's been months since I watched an episode. I was so bored of it, I did not think it was good. I can't believe the difference from Season 1 to Season 2. I thought Season 2 was incredibly poor compared to the first one. I don't know what they were trying to do. It was just so bad. Daredevil, Season 1, the TV show, back with Marvel and Netflix. And then I think the reason Netflix, everybody was confused, but that's because Disney Plus was starting and they Marvel wanted their rights back, of course. But yeah, that's a really cool one. The reason I hate these are the DVD bags. Some people like them because they're bigger. I don't. You got to tape them, and you get these. I'm just not a fan. So I ended up buying these 12mm ones, I believe it is, and that's like these ones. And I like these a lot better. I just think they fit better. They look better, all that stuff. But yes, that's Daredevil Season 1. Love Daredevil Season 1. Really like Season 2 as well. Season 3, I didn't think was as good. But, yeah, I love Charlie Cox's Daredevil as well. I have a blanket. Daredevil blanket I have as well. All right, so we got Season 2 right here, the complete second season. One of these has a slipcover out there that's like over $100. I think it's worth more than the Steelbooks. It's crazy how much that slipcover goes for. All right, next up after that, we have got Flash, the complete, I believe this is the second season right here. I've got through like the first 4 or 5 seasons of The Flash, and I really wish they would have replaced Ezra Miller with Grant Gustin, but it never happened. And then The Flash complete third season, I believe. Yeah, so I hate how they don't do Steelbooks for all the seasons. But I don't buy individual seasons. I wait for box sets. But if they come out with Steelbooks, I'll buy those. I really like The Flash, and it just got, I guess, not as good. And I think I gave up after like 4 or 5, season 4 or 5. Same with Arrow after like 5 or 6. That's why I don't watch a ton of TV shows, because if a character dies or a couple characters leave the show or the writing gets really bad, shows can drag, and then you're either stuck with it or you just stop watching, and then you don't get the conclusion. That's why I like movies way more than shows. It just depends. There's some shows I love, though. All right, next up, we've got Jessica Jones. This is the first season, I believe. Yep. I don't think they ever came out with the second season. You know what? No. I think there's a couple I'm missing. Iron Fist and Luke Cage. They did come out with Steelbooks of those, and those are the 2 I'm missing. I need to get eventually. All right, Supergirl second season. Yep, Supergirl season 2. I watched like season 1 or some of it. And then we've got The Walking Dead, the complete 8th season. This was at Target. A really cool Steelbook. I never got any of the other ones. So that's all my TV shows as well. All right, so next up we've got those Real Hero, I guess they're called. But I call them the comic book because they look exactly like that. Comic book style Steelbooks from Universal. I do have all of them. There's either like 24, 25, or 26. There's a couple that came out overseas. If anybody feels like they want to DM me the list. I know Kick-Ass is one of them, but I never collected them. They came out in a different country. But yeah, I got all the American ones. We got the Bourne Identity, and I talked about a lot of these earlier. I have them in other Steelbook format, and I made a video kind of going in detail talking about these a while back of the entire collection. So I'm going to run through these pretty quick. We've got the Bourne Supremacy, the Bourne Ultimatum, and the Big Lebowski. We've got the Blues Brothers right there. Always a fun one. Chronicles of Riddick, which I haven't seen. Death Race, love this entire franchise. Honestly, big fan of it, all 4 of them. I really like the second one as well. Maybe I'll watch that tonight. I feel like I'm in desperate need of a rewatch for that one. Doom, if you're a big eye candy guy, there's some great looking women in these Death Race movies. I mean, they're total just guys movies. There's just women, cars, explosions, violence, and just action. Like, it's every bit what a guy wants in a movie. Next up is Doom. Fast and Furious. The first one's a classic, always will be. It's one of my favorites, honestly. That movie influenced a lot of people, whether you want to admit it or not. Fast and Furious had an impact on people. The people getting arrested after that movie. I talked about that in part 1. Hellboy 2. Hot Fuzz. I haven't seen that. I hate some of these. They get damaged. You hear that popping. I don't care enough to go and try and find replacements for these. They all came pretty mangled. I had to get all of these. We got Hulk after that. I had to get all of these later on because I never picked them up in stores. What were they? Walmart, maybe? Best Buy? The Incredible Hulk. Jurassic Park, Tim Talks Talkie's favorite movie of all time, #1. King Kong, The Mummy, Brendan Fraser, that little Renaissance with the whale, which was incredible. Paul, speaking of the whale, I'm going to be doing a stream what this movie means to you soon, hopefully. We have got Pitch Black and Scarface, another one of those. That's #5. I got another one coming up very shortly. And Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And I'll continue on here in just a second. You see, this one's like really beat up on the edges there, but I'm just happy to have them. I got so much less picky over the last couple months, and as I moved and everything like that, and found so much damaged product, and I had a list of all the stuff I wanted to replace, and I was like, forget this. The list, it's just too hard to keep track of damaged stuff. Some people go crazy over it. I used to. I just don't anymore. It's too hard to do it. All right, almost done with part 2 here. We just got a few left of these. We got Serenity up right here. We have got Shaun of the Dead with that one. Van Helsing. Haven't seen that. Wanted, which just came out on 4K, or just got announced on 4K, I should say. Looking forward to checking that out on 4K at some point. There's a lot of Shout Factory 4Ks that have been good lately, Scream Factory too, but they're not coming with slipcovers, so I'll wait until there's a sale. All right, so that's it for that Real Heroes line. Now, this is like Pop Art or Project Pop, it's called, or something like that. There's like 13, and I have them all on these ones as well. So we've got 8 Mile, An American Werewolf in London. Really cool steelbook on that. I like these ones better than the kind of Real Hero comic style ones. We got The Big Lebowski. So a lot of these are just reprints. It's Universal once again, so they just release them in both kind of collections or whatever, lines if you want to call it that, labels. Blues Brothers. I got a couple of steelbooks of that. We got Casino. I missed out on the 4K steelbook of Casino and Goodfellas, unfortunately. But WB just announced Goodfellas on 4K in a box set, so I'll definitely be picking that up at some point. I don't know if I will right away. We've got Dazed and Confused. This is the most mangled steelbook I own. I never ended up getting a replacement. You could hear the popping there. I mean, it is caved in right here. It looks like somebody ran it over. I never ended up getting a replacement. This was, I don't know if it was shipped and sold from Amazon at the time. This was 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago or something like that. So never got a replacement. I still need to one day. But for now it works. You know, in the collection looks like this, you could hardly tell, sort of. Anyways, moving on. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Criterion put that out as well. I haven't seen it. Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrels. Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if I've seen that or not. Next up, we've got Psycho. I've talked about this one. I have the 4K steelbook of that. Haven't watched it since film class. Well, in a while. #6 steelbook I have of Scarface. This is #6. It's just The World Is Yours on the back. They all have a little quote. I did a video of my whole entire collection of these as well a while back, so if you want to watch it. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Another one there. And then finally, last but not least, for part 2 of my steelbook collection, it's just one of those days when you're feeling a little dead. It's Shaun of the Dead. So there's the back of it. So that is everything. That is all of them for part 2. I'm trying to get part 2 out as quick as possible after part 1, but I want to give some people an opportunity to watch part 1. I'll roll out part 2 here in a couple days. I'm going to edit it, put it together, and that's going to take some time. So, yeah, part 1 just dropped it today, like an hour. I literally dropped it and then started recording this. And then on this shelf right here, I have got basically Lionsgate. I separated like all my steelbooks that came with slipcovers. I'll talk more about it later. In part 3, I've got Mondo, Titans of Cult. Basically any boutique labels or specialty steelbooks or anything like that. Stuff that didn't fit in with the studio releases. These were all standard. I'm sure everybody's thinking, wow, this guy's got no premium stuff. I don't collect wet. I don't collect Nova Media, blues fans. It's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down. I'm a completist, like a completist. I love completing labels, completing collections, numbered spines, and I don't want to get caught up in another hobby or another collection or another label. So I've never started with the premiums, the one-click box sets. I'll do the Zavi ones, and that's about it. But yeah, you'll hear me talk a lot about it in part 3, and then boutique labels down here. And I got some special stuff in part 3 that I don't want to spoil right now. But yeah, you probably see like this right here. These are basically just damaged product that I need to get replacements for and things like that. So I just kind of put it up and propped it up like this right here. I just haven't decided on a place yet for it. So that's kind of where it's sitting. But anyways, that is everything. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed part 2. And I'm looking forward to recording part 3 and getting it out there. Hopefully everybody enjoyed part 1 and has stuck around and watched part 2. And we'll be there for part 3. And then I'll get into my 4Ks and Blu-rays and boutique labels that aren't Steelbooks. So stay tuned. Have a great week.